Hey, what's up, all? Let's have a little coffee and do a recap of Module 1. All right, so this is Dean. Good to see you again. You better have watched some of the earlier videos. So we want to do this quick recap to maybe highlight a couple things that you might have missed or maybe that I screwed up, which there is one. All right, so first off, thanks so much because you guys shared some really good stuff, and I could see that some of you really put some thought into it and went a little deeper than just surface level. So I appreciate that. Um, so why do we do this? Well, there's one thing called self-disclosure, and that is when we disclose something about ourselves. A whole bunch of things happen, right? We disclose something about ourselves, and then other people know a little bit about us, and it creates empathy, right? That's one way that we could be more persuasive, right? We're going to get into the concept of reciprocity, whereas if somebody gives you something, there's an obligation to wipe that debt out. We don't want to be indebted. And so we give something back, right? We exchange, gifts kind of thing. However, that could take many different forms. But there's also something called social reciprocity. And so when you share something to somebody, and then somebody has some sort of obligation, an indebtedness, they want to share something back. But we have a whole different challenge here because we're online. So it really takes a little bit of an extra effort to go ahead and to be able to build some rapport and some immediacy. And so with that, I'll talk about my screw up. So I didn't create the groups until too late. People started posting stuff already. And so what I did is I created the groups, but then I just, went through. It was a pain for me to look at everything. And so I'm doing this recap. And we're going to talk about some commonalities here instead of individually to every single person who posted. All right, but I just want to talk to two of you guys out there. Two students jumped way ahead, and I had to go and close down everything. But there's a couple things that you don't want to do. That one is if you check the syllabus, any syllabus, uh, things are subject to change. So I've made a couple little changes, but if you went all way ahead, you're kind of at the risk of maybe submitting something that doesn't match the change. So for those two students from Module 2, go back and have a look at what you did. One thing is I created the groups, and now you're not within the group because you went ahead and posted. So go ahead and take a look at that. So before we talk about some of the commonalities in the post, I wanted to point out another element of persuasion, and that's likability. And what we'll talk about later is the halo effect. And so what happens is once you self-disclose and you say something about yourself, what we're going to do is we're going to gravitate towards someone. We have to reply to a person or two, right? Whatever it may be. We're going to gravitate towards someone who posted something that has some familiarity with us, right? Something that we like, right? So we tend to like people that are like us. So if somebody posts something, there was some about surfing, right? If somebody posts something about surfing, I think that was you, Jax. Other people who are interested in surfing or have surfed, they're likely to go ahead and post about that. And so all of a sudden now you have self-disclosure, and there's two things where it's like, I like that person more. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to post to that person. So when it comes to persuasion, what happens is we tend to be more moved. We're more likely to be compliant, more likely to give a yes to somebody that we like. So that takes us into some of the commonalities, right? There was a lot of them. Looking at my notes here, there was a lot of commonalities about fitness and sports, lifting, basketball, surfing again, you name it, there was more. Pets were all over the place. Dogs, cats, frogs, a bunny named Goose, right? So those are all over. Many shared awesome travel experiences, Bahamas, France, Greece, Dubai. So these are all things that we can use to be more persuasive. We want to be persuasive. We know something about somebody. We want to be likable. So what we could do is share something in common that we learned through self-disclosure. So now let's give it a little red flag about what that can cause in a negative way. So what happens is we have in-groups and out-groups, if anybody took COM100. And so what happened is an in-group would be all of us surfers. I don't surf, right? Or all of us mountain bikers. I mountain bike, right? So we have a natural tendency to treat those people different. We find them more credible. We find them more trustworthy. We find them more likable overall, people that are in our in-group. But what happens is when people aren't in our in group, then we tend to be more suspicious of people in the out group. And so once you fall into that cycle of, oh, somebody has something I like about them, I'm going to reply to them, and they reply to you, module two, you kind of do the same thing. And all of a sudden, other people start to form an out group while that you have that in group. And so there's certain things that can happen with that. And we'll talk about that as we go on. Just keep that in mind. All right. So quick recap. One, groups are now working. Use them. Two, don't skip ahead. I'm not going to call you out. Right. And then if you skipped ahead, go take a look at it. Three, keep using that ABC format and stick to the word count. It's easy for you for consistency, and it's easy for me to be able to read because we do have 60 students. Anyway, I'm excited to see how things evolve over the next module two or three. And if you have any thoughts or questions, anyway, just reach out and let me know. Thanks.